Hello guys, and welcome to another day with Zimaleta. In today's video, we're going to be talking about opening up your own logistics company. Specifically, how am I going to do it? What kind of steps am I going to be taking? And what have I done so far to secure my, I guess, financial future and success in being like my own logistics company? So let's begin. What have I done so far? Before even me doing this type of step, this is something that I've been wanting for as long as I could remember. I already been 11 years in the business, and I was thinking about already doing it sooner. I did start my own fleet company back in 2009, and I had about 3 vans. We were doing okay. I did experience and learn a lot from actually doing it. So it was kind of like profitable. It was a lot of like stuff like that going on. But I got out of it, and I'm not gonna get into it like why I got out of it and then why like I came back. But when I got out of it, I knew it was a mistake getting out, because I've never made more money than I ever did with Expedite. It's just like it just never ever happened. I've tried various different things. I've sold cars in the past, just like Craigslist and stuff like that, like eBay. I did pretty good, but that can't be considered a business because there's no cash flow. You sell it when you sell it, and that's about it, And everything that I've done in the past, including starting my own Zimaleta home remodel and renovating company back in the day, it was successful to begin with, and then it failed because the housing market crashed. And I think we're kind of like in a bubble right now. Possibly economy will crash again. And if it will, a lot of these other businesses that I'm thinking about opening up, they're not gonna do so well. Like the cars might not do so well. I mean, people still need to go to work, but everything slows down. The housing market could slow down. So like with the real estate investing, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for investing for long term and creating some cash flow, which I'm thinking about doing, but it's not one of those videos. But when you're talking about real estate investing, it is just that. You're investing, you're an investor, and I would invest for the long term. There's a lot of benefits, like as far as taxes goes that way, and it helps build like a really good financial future. Now as far as the job goes, like everybody wants a job. It's kind of funny, one of the comments I got yesterday, just above broke job. So anyways, starting a business, a lot of times, in order to even start a business, you need to really start it for the right reasons. You can't just start a business just because there's money to be made, because any kind of business, you're going to basically suffer, in the business, because businesses don't always succeed. Business, for the most part, they fail. And a lot of times when people start the business, they're thinking about, oh, everybody's going to be my client, everybody's going to want this. Turns out nobody wants it, nobody cares, except you. And you're overestimating that everybody will need your service. But there's already a lot of services out there, and the question you really should be asking yourself is, why will they want yours? Are you somehow providing something else that they don't? And generally, that is really hard to answer. For somebody like me, like even that's a little bit difficult to answer, but I'm always thinking that, why do I really want to do this? Okay, it's really important to me because as I told you, I wanted to do this for the longest time. But why did I want to do this for the longest time? Part of the reason is I wanted to make more money. And I guess that's what a lot of us were thinking about. We're like, who cares? I want more money. Show me the money, So if that business is going to be making more money, that's what I'm going to be doing, because it's more than I'm making right now. So I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to have my own Expedite company, logistics company. I wanted to do the whole 9 yards. I wanted to have about 10 of my own vans, basically 10 drivers that's driving just my vans, my own office, my own business property, which would be like a commercial property, to have employees, to have my own dispatch, to do it the right way. That's the way I wanted to do it, because it is real important to me that when you're doing a business, the business can operate whether you go on vacation or not. Because if you break your leg and it's your leg that you press the gas pedal with, well, now, you know, your business stops, okay? So you actually need drivers. And for everything that you do in business, there needs to be a backup plan. Like, if you could plan for anything, plan for failure. Something is going to go wrong. It always does. It's like, it's unavoidable. So when you're having business, not only that you're going to be having cash flow issues, you're going to have like unexpected breakdowns. Maybe if you don't have vans, you're going to have employees quit. You have high turnover. Maybe you're not going to be able to find everybody loads. Maybe nobody's going to want to work for you. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Maybe you're going to get it over your head and you cannot really afford it. And there's a lot of issues that go wrong. So plan for a really nice explanation video. It's going to take a while to explain everything, because I think it's important to really look at all the factors, not just business and that's it, starting a business. Of course, I will have videos as, you know, simple as that, but it's not one of those videos. In this video, I will tell you, you know, that I did actually plan. I did want to have a business property. When I was living in apartments, I wanted to have that. I was dreaming about it. I'm thinking, man, if I could just have that, I could start buying vans. I could park it on my property. I could fix them, put drivers, and then boom, boom, boom. Before you know, I have a nice company going, okay? I even thought about doing that before even buying my house. But then I thought, well, what if I fail? If I fail, then I'm not going to be able to have the cash to buy a house. I might not be able to find a deal like that again, you know. So I kind of had to bite the bullet and say, okay, listen, I'm gonna put this business thing off. So I did, and I bought the house. And buying a house really made me think a little different. So when I bought the house, and I have the commercial, well, it didn't have the commercial property, but it had a property next door. You technically don't need a commercial property to do your expediting business. However, if you do have a lot of vans, you know, the city might, you know, city ordinances and stuff, they might get on your butt about that, you know. Now, if you do have a commercial property, then they really can't, especially like mine, it's kind of like zoned for, like, I guess, shoot, any business really. Main one was gonna be like the dealership, so I could have up to 25 cars ready for sale, and then I could have a lot of cars that's not. So technically, not a lot could be said, you know, to me about that. I do want to make things look nice and kind of like tucked away, and you know, to where it's not gonna be, I guess, noticeable, you know. But so here we go. So I did actually get this property, guys. I did rezone it. I do have a garage. It's like 400 square foot. That garage is made out of 2x4s. It would make a perfect office. It even has an area that I think a compressor used to sit in. It's about 4x4 type of area. You know, it's more than enough to put a toilet in there, you know. So I could have like a bathroom in there, you know, and maybe expand like on the outside and actually build a bigger one eventually. But I could have technically like the whole room being as like a large office. I could have like monitors up on the wall where we're seeing like different load boards, everything that's going on, so everybody could like look at maybe like performance and, you know, different type of stuff, but you could kind of see what's going on. Maybe we'll track, you know, drivers driving across the whole country. We'll see that, you know, them moving on the monitors and stuff, and at least where everybody's at, like quickly at a glance, you'll be able to see what's going on, you know. So I want to have that. So I want to have like sort of like cubicles set up, you know, with the different computers and stuff like that, so that dispatch could sit there and look for loads, and, you know, everybody would have like their own guys that they're taking care of, like a group of guys, and we'll find out, you know, how many they could actually manage and expand from there. So I plan to actually do a business where I could actually take it to the next level and expand. Obviously, doing it by myself, I would not be able to expand, and this is one of the reasons that I put it off for so long. Even after buying this property, it's one of the reasons, not all of the reason, but it's one of the reasons, because I'm thinking if I'm going to open it up now, it's going to be just me. I'm not ready for an area yet for my dispatch to be sitting. I'm not ready to invest this kind of money yet into it, because my money is right now flowing out to my real estate investment. I'm currently fixing it. Guys, it's almost done. It's almost done. Once it's done, I know that I'm going to be thinking big. And after that, I was thinking about either doing a car dealership thing. I already revised the plans a little bit, and I found one that's going to work. You know, and doing also like stripping cars and trying to do that business, and also doing real estate investing. And Expedite is always a high priority on my list because out of all of them that I mentioned, Expedite is the only one I truly understand, and I know how the money works and there's cash flow in it. This is the only business that's going to be the easiest for me to start. It takes less capital, less getting your hands dirty, and you just do it ultimately. And so in a way, you know, instead of like speeding things up and making me say, "Yay, I want to do it," like it actually slows me down a little bit because I'm thinking it's too easy. It is too easy. Nothing is too easy. I mean, it's too easy to like set things up and just get the wheels off the ground. I'm not saying it's going to be easy to operate the company. I'm just saying it's too easy. Like I already have technically. Guys, I just ran out of memory on my phone. It just says storage full. I'm like thinking, wow. But anyways, um, because I have an office, it's not ready like on an inside yet. Like it's because it's a garage right now, and I would need to remove the garage door, install like a sliding door and maybe like some windows to, you know, give it a little bit more light and stuff. Then I need to actually hire electrician to run all the electrical there and stuff, and then get that thing hooked up to electricity, connect water to it, and also connect the sewer, because I actually do have the sewer. I have the septic for this property, and I would need to connect all these systems together, you know, to make it work and, you know, move forward. But I do have other plans in mind too. Like I want to buy myself like a big shop. The smallest I'll be getting is about 30 by 41. I may have to wait a little bit on that, and I may have to get like something like one or two. I'm gonna start off with like one. Get like one of those containers delivered to me, because I need like a storage. Like, because right now my garage is being used as my storage. I need to pull everything out of it. It would create a perfect 400 square foot office, and just do the whole renovation inside. Just do everything in it, you know. And once I do that, guys, I could, you know, drywall it, paint it, texture it, like everything, and I could set up all the computers and stuff like that. That's gonna be like no problem, and I could definitely do something that's going to work for me. At that point, then actually I would like to start and taking my business seriously and open up my expediting company officially. You know, hire some dispatch one by one, because at first it's just gonna be just me, and then I'm gonna replace me and keep going, keep going, keep going. Along with that, but that's actually what's gonna need to happen, is I need to actually fix that garage in order for that to happen. So in the meantime, obviously I know that's going to be taking time, and I know it's going to take about a year for the MC number to be active in order for selectors to consider me, you know, like approving me and stuff like that, like the normal way. That is if I don't pay the money. And because I really don't know how long it's gonna take me to finish up my house, to build a fence, because that's actually important too, and also to be able to fix up the garage and stuff. I mean, it's just gonna be one room, but in order for that to happen, I need to completely clear it, you know, of all the stuff. It's not gonna be like difficult, because for the most part, it's kind of clear, but I'm storing like some stuff in there that I recently bought like at auctions. And some of that, you know, stuff that I have in there, it's actually going to go back in there as part of the renovation. Like I bought a lot of doors, like kitchen cabinet doors, and the way I'm gonna do the whole space is basically all the walls that has any kind of space in them. I'm gonna just basically put cabinets everywhere. Like the whole space is gonna be cabinets, you know, top to bottom. And the reason I want to do that is I want to have a nice, clean looking space, you know, like really nicely organized. With anything that we need, it's going to be nice and tucked away. I don't like anything to be kind of like just like laying around there. You know, any kind of supplies, paper, everything's just gonna be like nice and tucked away. You know, I don't know. I just like the clean type of environment like that when I'm working. I could definitely see myself, you know, being, you know, a successful logistics company, and, you know, being a good boss and stuff to, you know, my workers and stuff. And I could see that I'll have good drivers. I'll be able to work with a lot of you know, like contractors and stuff, because I will be hiring like owner operators and stuff, plus contractor drivers, for my own vans. However, at this point, I'm not considering that my vans will go long distance. I'm only considering them doing local. So that's going to be something else, that I'll be doing. Now, I know I mentioned this, but selectors, they want you to have 5 vans under your own insurance and stuff like that. I think it used to be like 10. Maybe it was always 5, but I always thought that it's, 10 of them is more beneficial. And selectors want you to be in business for 1 year, like with your MC number, and they don't want you to work for any other selectors, I guess customer that they have, which would be like, I guess, the logistics company that loads you now probably. They don't want you to work for them for like 6 months. But I'm thinking a way around that. Just open up your own LLC. That's totally another entity. And when you do that, you'll be able to just, work for your own entity, basically. So your entity is the one that's actually going to be bidding loads and stuff like that. So that being said, this will now explain to you guys why was I accumulating all these printers. I always knew that you need about 5-10 vans in order to look successful to like somebody like Selectus. Now, one thing that I did not know, that they want you to have all of them on your insurance. I kind of thought that I could just give them some VIN numbers and then voila, you have 10 vans, but they want you to have them under insurance. Possibly when you just start out, because let's say I didn't want to have any of my own vans, but I do. Even if they'll be parked, I could just basically, oh yeah, they want the driver names, they want driver profiles. So yeah, it's not that simple. They want all those things. But just for me to start out, it's going to be a lot easier because I do have those 5 vans. Well, I have 6 printer vans, I have a box truck. So here's what I'm gonna start doing now. I'm gonna start slowly fixing one by one, sprinters and stuff, and I'm gonna put driver locally and stuff. So until I have my 5. And even before that, I'm going to start working on it. Maybe in about a month, I'm gonna start opening up my own MC and DOT. I'm gonna open those things up, let them simmer for about a year or whatever. And I'm just gonna quickly start preparing my vans real quickly. It's not going to be that easy. It's not that simple. To get them in nice shape and stuff, it takes time. It could easily take me a couple months per each vehicle, because it's a lot of work and stuff. It's like you could just make it like trashy looking and stuff, and it's gonna be ready. But to me, company image and branding is very important. I'll also have to think about what my vans actually look like, what color they are, what I want to be known for, that kind of thing. So image is something I need to think about. If you ask me, I want all my vans to be black, like kind of like the gloss black look, and to have to all of them have the Zimaleta logo on there. It looks like a nice Expedite logo. In a way, it reminds me of UPS vans. They have brown vans and they have those logos. So possibly like my drivers, like I don't care. Like if my drivers have like the regular white vans, like I don't care at all. I would, however, require that, my logo go on them and stuff when they're working with me, just like any company would, because that is actually kind of like advertising for my company and stuff. And a lot of times it's free, and it is a requirement if somebody's working with you, because it's a sticker. So everybody wants to put one on your van. And unfortunately, nobody will pay you for that advertising space, which is kind of like not fair. But, it is what it is, because the company, when you go like to pick up a load, they expect that certain company. So you look professional where you're picking up the load. So in a way, it works out for everybody, because if you're not looking professional, you're just not going to get that load, or you're not going to get any future loads. So it's important that you represent the company and like that. So I may actually, at least for my drivers locally, I may have to do the uniforms thing, because I do want them to look like, they're FedEx drivers or like UPS, but we're going to have our own Zimaleta style, type of clothing, to where it's, you come to work and you feel like, you know, like you're working and you're like, I don't know, like part of the team or whatever. And it's all respectful because everybody has like a different dressing style, and at times it might not be appropriate and stuff like that. I've seen like truckers go in to get a load. I'm serious, guys, with nothing but a sometimes a t-shirt, sometimes a dress shirt that's not really dressed because they just slept in it. And guys, they literally go in boxers, and like slippers. They go in the company to pick up a load. I know they just got out of the sleeper because they were sleeping in the parking lot, but still put some pants on, right? So that makes me think. I'm like thinking, look, I'm gonna have a dress code. I mean, you know, it's that simple. I will provide all the uniforms. I don't think I'm gonna charge the drivers for the uniforms. I'll provide them at my expense. I know a lot of companies, they want you to sort of like pay for that stuff. But to me, it's so important. I'm not even gonna charge my drivers. I'm just gonna, you know, give you the uniforms if you're working with me like for every day or whatever, and you just, you know, wash them and stuff, and just come and, you know, clean clothing, you know, to do deliveries. Like, and I'm thinking more like locally because I live in South Carolina. I'm right out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and in Charlotte we have international airport there. We have a lot of warehouses. We have a lot of different logistical companies that do this type of thing. There's a lot of business in Charlotte, and there's gonna be like a lot of deliveries, and I want my company to look legit. Like if they're gonna be doing it, you know, my actual drivers that work for me, I'm talking about on my vans, will look like that. Now, for somebody that is an owner operator and you're working on your own van, basically, of course, I'm just gonna, you know, definitely require that, you know, a sticker or a magnet, something goes on your van, you know, that looks like it's from my company, and you could put it on when you're at the company. Or if it's a sticker, I guess it's gonna have to stay on. So I may have to, I don't know, think of a magnet or something. But everybody, when they look at a magnet, they see it as being like less permanent, so they don't take you seriously when it's like that. But I could totally understand when drivers, they want to drive with other companies. So I may have to do like a magnet, because I don't want you to like just feel like you have to work for mine. Like, what if there's like no other, what if there's like no loads or whatever, then I don't want you to feel stuck. I want you to be able to, you know, get loads elsewhere. So obviously putting my, you know, sticker is going to hinder that, you know, from happening. However, once my company does grow and we will feel that we could handle all the load capacities and stuff like that, I will just say, listen, you either work with me or you work with somebody else, and you just have to like work with me, because it's gonna be like kind of like a contract thing, where, you know, like I know that I could depend on you, and you know you could depend on me, kind of like, you know, providing you like work and stuff. And then at that point, of course, it's gonna be like a sticker and stuff. And why is that? Because I will want to make sure that my van is available, and if I see you over there, like I'll be able to like bid a load for you like right away, and, you know, get you on your way, instead of like wondering if you're available or not, and to always call you, are you available? Are you available? Are you available? Guys, it's the most important, annoying thing to me when I was working with like several companies, like even like as much as like 3 companies, all of them, they're just calling you, are you available? And you're like, yeah, nothing changed. I was basically, I would let you know if I would not be, but some of these guys, they don't let them know. They're like, yeah, screw him, I got a load, yeah, let him call. You know, like I'm serious, like I've seen drivers, you know, talk like that. Like they don't care about the dispatch, but then you have to call them up and say, hey, are you available, and do you want this load? And, you know, then they're gonna start bargaining whether they want the load or not, which is a whole another story. But to find out if somebody's available or not, guys, it wastes your time, it wastes logisticals company's time, because if you think about it, for one person, which is important, you know, for us to think about it, because I think most of us that's watching this right now, that's even like listening to this portion, you know, we want to be somewhat a logistical company, and time is very important. And I could understand why the company that I work with, they don't want any calls. Like they don't want you to call them up, like, and ask them questions about stupid stuff. Like if it's something important, then, you know, it's okay, and just you know, quickly a phone call, and that's it, done. But That's really true. Like when you do the math, guys, to handle about 30 drivers, you only have 15 minutes per day per each driver. So think about it. So if they have to call you up, that's taking minutes away. So that's an 8-hour day. So if you're working longer than that, yeah, the time expands out by a little bit, not by much, and still, it's like time is money. So in the time that it takes to call you to ask you if you want that load might be gone already. I've seen so many cases, by the time they called me up, they're like, oh, that load's gone. Yeah, they asked me, you know. So it's like they know that it's a waste of time, and then you might not actually pick up right away and stuff like that. So that's a whole another issue. Here's the way I work with my company, and not a lot of people will want that, okay? But I'll tell you right away, I really like this. And that's actually what I'm going to do when it comes to my drivers and stuff, okay? My company does not ask me if I want the load. They know I want the load, and they call me up when they have the load. So they wake me up only if they have the load, not do you want to go in such and such a place. Sometimes when it's not a normal load, let's say like I'm in Michigan, they're like, do you want to go to California? We have the company on the line. They already got the load, but they're not saying yes, but maybe I don't want to go to California. I say, yeah, I'll go to California, you know. But they do ask me about that, you know, but that's a kind of like a rare case where there's a California that's offered. I usually know where I'm going. Now, I understand the hot spots and the good areas and the bad areas in the country. And I typically tend to stay to the good areas. Now, if I have drivers, okay, I'm going to definitely come up with one set price to pay everybody. Why is that important? Sometimes on some of those jobs, I'll have to take a loss in order to actually win that load for that driver. But I get covered on the next run, okay? And also this prevents me saying, yeah, but that's a good area, so take a little less, we'll be able to get you something. But in a bad area, you send it for a little more, which ultimately you don't know who's winning, who's losing, because it feels a lot of times that they're always asking you to drive for cheap. I don't want to do that. So we'll establish a price. Hey, if it's like 80 cents, if it's 90 cents, whatever, 85, whatever the going rate is at the time, because I haven't tried this, we'll see if I could get, you know, more money. If I could squeeze more money, I want to pay my drivers more than, you know, or normal price is what's actually going on. And I think the driver should be getting 80 cents per mile and should be getting a fuel surcharge. That's what I'm thinking, which equals out between 95 cents and $1. In some cases that, you know, there's a load that's going somewhere in the boonies, west of Mississippi River, in those cases that the load should be bid way more than $1, but that's another story. But generally speaking, everything east of Mississippi River, all this should be kind of like one price. And like, you should be able to say, okay, listen, I don't want any loads to, for instance, Louisiana or Mississippi. You know, I'm just saying like a few places, it's a little bit slow down there, you know, in those areas. You might not want to go there. So you might say, okay, I don't want, you know, Louisiana, Mississippi, you know, Florida or whatever, you know, you choose that, and Alabama, you know. Those are usually pretty, you know, slow places. I actually just go to all of them because I get out of every single place, like no problem. But it would be just like a set rate and just go and you don't think about it. Like you wake up because we got your load, not because we're asking whether you want it, because guys, it's so much waste of time. If you have to call 30 drivers just once each day, that's 30 calls, and each call takes about a couple of minutes. You know, you don't have a lot of time left. You know, like 15 of those calls and you're already working overtime just to get everybody loaded. So I think it's important to not waste each other's time and to be able to just quickly get the loads. Because guys, if one thing I've noticed during working all these years in Expedite, you got to be quick on those loads. You cannot fumble around. Like you just gotta, like, you see a load, you quickly jump on it. And some of the companies that I work for, some of the successful ones, and I will actually talk to them in like another video. It's not going to be like after this one because I'm burned out a little bit already talking. But I will talk about the successes and failures of some companies that I worked with in the past. But that's going to be like another video. But in this video, I do want to explain that some of the successful companies that I worked with, they were quick. They were so quick. Like one company is literally calling like 1 or 2 seconds behind that other one, and they wanted to still fight each other on the load. And I know that's gonna, you know, defeat the purpose, because the price is going to need to go down somewhere, and I didn't let them fight. So I said, who's first, you know, gets the load, you know, which they probably thought it's not fair for a driver deciding that, but I think it's totally fair, because they sure get pissed off if they lose. You tell them, yeah, go bid on it, and then the other company wins. They're like, they get so pissed off, guys. I'm serious. I already tried that. Sometimes I said, okay, fine, you know, you could bid against each other. Yeah, they get so pissed. They're like, Serge, you need to choose us or them. I'm like, man, you're both good. Like, how could I choose? You know, they're both good companies. And ultimately, I then will notice that, you know, one is more consistent than the other. And what I mean by that, like last time I went back to the same company I worked with, even though I left them for just a little bit. They kind of actually left me because I refused to quit that other company. And they said, okay, listen, if you're ready to come back, not working with them, then okay, do that. Because they said it's a waste of time for us, because every time they call me up, because it is a waste of time, they lose the load. They keep losing to that other company, because that other company has more dispatch, and they win, and they're really quick. So as soon as they're done with this one, they're already bidding on the next one. Like, they're so super quick, guys. And so if they have a good team, 7 to 10 dispatchers, they could handle the volume calls. Like sometimes mom and pop shops where they got 1 or 2 people, not so much, you know. And a lot of times they don't want to expand either. Like the company I'm working with, they don't want to expand. They don't want to hire nobody. One of the fears that they have, that driver's going to learn, worker's going to learn what's going on, and they're going to go in business for themselves. But that's going to happen anyways. Whether they like it or not, it's not that they're going to learn from them. They're going to learn from somebody like me, even though I'm technically creating competition for me. But what I want is for drivers to be able to, if they want to, take this into their own control. You'll be able to be in charge of your own loads. You'll bid your load at your own price. And here's what I do recommend. If I could ask you one thing, you know, like if you're gonna go into business for yourself, then bid the proper price. Like, don't bid like low price that you would bid like at a company. I mean, because, you know, logistical company, because think about it, they got overhead, okay? They gotta make money. So when they're giving you like lowball offers, it's because they're still bidding higher, and they're trying to make money to cover their employees. They got overhead. So when I'm going to have overhead myself, you know, obviously I'm cutting a lot of it out. Like, I'm not going to have a rental expense because I own the building. I will have, of course, you know, the utilities and stuff like that. I'll have all the insurances, and I have to pay the load boards and, you know, different kind of fees here and there. There's always something. I have to plan for taxes and pay all my employees, you know, and software and computers and stuff you need to get for the office. It's overhead. That's why a lot of times these companies, they decide to just keep it in the family, teach the kids how to use computers and book loads and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do that, of course, in the future. You know, teach my boys, you know, how to bid and stuff like that. If we're going to continue with that, but you know, it's important. So if you have overhead, you can't bid loads cheap. So a lot of times I might end up maybe like losing them, you know, if I have too much overhead. So I'm gonna try to minimize my overhead. And also for my dispatch, I'm going to have to come up with a different type of payment solution, which should be kind of like instead of like getting an hourly pay, it's probably going to be like either all commission, or there's going to be money, like monthly amount of money, but then there's going to be like a rest is going to be commission. So if a dispatch works better than another dispatch, he's going to get more money, and I'm going to also have like bonuses and stuff. So to me, I try to secure myself with all different positions, because we might have like, I don't know, 10 people, only like one person over there working good. Everybody else, they just come to work and, I don't know, shoot staples or something. You know, I don't even know if that could be done like, you know, the game. You know, they just be like fooling around, whatever. But I want those guys that come to work to be rewarded, that actually come, you know, to work, because why would I hire people that don't want to work? It just defeats the purpose, because after all, if I'm doing a business, I'm there to make money. I'm there also to enjoy what I do. I do actually enjoy Expedite, or I would not actually be in here that long but ever since buying my house, I know that I could do many different things. And even after this video, I may actually easily change my plans and say, okay, we're going to be doing a dealership first, or we're going to be doing some parts first, because I noticed you cannot focus on everything at the same time. This is why it's not going to hurt anything if I'm going to go ahead and start, get my MC opened up and DOT, get that on the roll, because in a year, once I'm ready, I already have that established. I'm going to also fix my vans. That's not going to hurt nothing, because I was planning to do it anyways. And I'm going to start putting drivers on them. Just putting drivers, let them work locally. And then I got to put some money together, and I'm going to say, okay, I got to hire a guy. We'll go ahead and get the offices taken care of. When I see the office is already done, I'm thinking, most of the work is already done. Let's see if I could win some loads. I'll just go sit down myself and try to bid in some loads. If I could win, okay, I'll probably load my own drivers, at the beginning. If I could do that successful, I'm going to move on. I'm going to say, okay, I'll basically say on my channel, if some of you guys want to work with me, okay, let's get the ball in the roll, and fill out what you got to fill out, send it in, and get you set up and start winning some loads. And if I'm going to do that successful for, a few people, because I might open it up to like 5 or 10 people, in the beginning, and go from there. We'll see how much we could manage. Make sure that we could keep our guys busy instead of just like getting bunch of drivers, because you'll make like more money that way. I want to make sure that I could keep my guys busy. It's important. And once I see that I could get at least, 10 guys moving or something, probably hire a dispatch person to take care of those guys. And, to make sure that they're in charge loading, those people, all the time, getting in contact. Of course, if I do that, then it leaves the possibility of a little bit more room, to work with, because if it's just 10 drivers that the dispatch handling, it's a lot easier. Your time just got extended by, to 45 minutes from 15 minutes. So, that being said, I'll have to, look at further growing the business and stuff, and keep doing it, and just growing my company. Because long term, I do see that I'm going to have a successful company, and failure is not an option. This is why vans are for cash, building is for cash. Having to pay like some kind of load board, $400 a month, just doesn't bother me now. It's part of doing business. You have to pay money somewhere. As a matter of fact, probably just upkeeping the vans that I own would be more expensive, because think about it. I got like 5 vans, 5 oil changes. That's already $100 a pop, for each van. It's not gonna charge me. It's not gonna cost me like $100. It's gonna cost me maybe like $60, $70 for each oil change. But already, that's oil change. That's tires once a year, like $500. So you have to think about possible maintenance and stuff like that. So if you think about it, you average all out. Shoot, it's not so bad paying a monthly fee, to have access to load boards, because I'm going to be loading the drivers that, they're taking care of their own van, their own maintenance. The most important thing is that I'm fair to them, they're fair to me, and we have an understanding. If I have one thing with the company that I work with, we have an understanding. They know how I work, I know how they work, and they have no spots for anybody else to come in and to work for them. They said, Serge, do not give our company out on your videos. We cannot handle the volume of phone calls, and we're not hiring. that's how it is. And they said, if we will be hiring, we only will hire people that we know. And if we want to have drivers, we're going to first ask you drivers if you know anybody that that is any good. That's how it is. Like, they're keeping it like in a family. They don't want to expand, because they want to just load their own guys, and they want to be sure they could do it good, because they're responsible with doing it. So when I'm sleeping in the morning and I get woken up, I know it's because I just got a load. And usually what happens is they shoot me a text. Sometimes I get it like right away, sometimes I don't, and they call me, did you get the text? I'm like, no, not yet. We just got your load, blah, blah, blah. It's going there. You need to start heading to the zip code or whatever, And I'm like, okay, what time I have to be there? And a lot of times they don't want to answer none of that. They're like, it's all in the text message. Just read, Serge, just read. they tell me sometimes, I'm like, okay, you know, but sometimes I want to get that on the phone, you know, because I got them there anyways. But I get the address and stuff, boom, like you go right away. Like this job is like, you know, like we're like fire trucks, you know, like a fireman. Like we have to go and put out a fire every time there's a load that comes around. We just have to go there. But anyways, it starting to feel like I am just mumbling here and just making this video longer than it should be. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this kind of helps you with the thought process on how to get kind of started. I'm sorry if it's not what you expected, but I think it's important to think ahead of time and to start making plans. And it's certainly what I have done. It's just I'm always having like second thoughts and other business ideas as well, because I know I'm going to be successful in more than one business. It's just sometimes I'm like, do I really need this other business though? You know, I have to think like that. But anyways, guys, I will always share information with you guys and stuff like that. Also, in this video and description below, if you want to get Selectus information, I put everything below, including phone numbers that you need to contact, just so that will actually make your job a little bit easier. This is official Selectus information that they actually send out. So read it, you know, see what you think. And this video is not to inform you everything that Selectus charges, but it is to let you know like some of the prices they charge, just to see if you even want to do that or not. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. God bless you. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.